Study Session 11. The military as a social institution. Introduction. A major question in political sociology is how states can control their military institutions. A society cannot remain democratic for a long time if the military observes the authority granted to it by civilian institutions. One factor that contributes to the problem is the fact that the military is staffed by professional soldiers for whom service in the armed forces is a career. In view of the above, this study session will look at the military as a social institution, as well as the military socialization and the economic role of the military. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Explain the reason military is regarded as social institution. 2. Discuss military socialization. 3. Appraise the role of military in the economy of a state. Characteristics of military as a social institution. The military as a social institution is characterized by the following features, identified by McPherson 1984 and Anderson and Taylor 2004. 1. Institutions are stable system of norms and values that fill certain functions in society. The military is a social institution whose function is to defend the nation against external and sometimes internal threats. A strong military is often considered an essential tool for maintaining peace, although the values that promote preparedness in the armed forces are perilously close to their warlike values that lead to military aggression against others. 2. The military is a strict hierarchical and formal social institution. For instance, people who join the military are explicitly given a rank and, if later promoted, pass through a series of well-defined levels, each with clearly demarcated sets of rights and responsibilities. As in other social institutions, military enlistees are carefully socialized to learn the norms of the combative culture they have joined. Military socialization places a high premium on conformity. New recruits have their haircuts shot to look alike. They are issued identical uniforms, and they are allowed to retain very few of their personal possessions. They must quickly learn new codes of behavior that are strictly enforced. 3. Like other hierarchical institutions, the military embeds social class into its structure. People recruited from the working class are most likely to serve in lower-end positions within the military. They, however, experience social mobility as a result of military education and training. People from the upper class who serve in the military are most likely to be officers and in non-combat positions. 4. Many find the military to be distinctively masculine. Not only are men the majority in the combative culture, but the organization itself rests on masculine culture traits such as aggression, competition, hierarchy, and violence. Soldiers are often abused if they fail to live up to the masculine image of the military. New recruits may derisively be called Caesars and told that If they fail to live up to military ideals, it is because they are effeminate or homosexual. 5. Military life is obviously very different from life of the base, yet the military is intimately linked to other institutions in society. Most notably, a strong connection exists between the military and the corporate America. The military-industrial complex is the term used to describe the linkage between business and military interest. The link is so strong that the military supports many of the basic research and development projects in the nation, from the university research laboratories to corporate research institutes and centers. The military funds much of the basic scientific and technological knowledge. Military socialization. In his classic study of socialization in a military academy, Dunbach, 1955, showed that traditional military socialization processes are designed to develop a high level of motivation and commitment to the institution. Those processes include the following. 1. Suppression of previous status through hair coats, uniforms, and the like. The recruit is deprived of visible clues to his or her previous social status. 2. Learning of new norms and rules. At the official level, the recruit is taught obedience to the rules of the military. Through information socialization, he or she is taught the culture of the military institution. 3. Development of solidarity. Both informal socialization and harsh discipline build solidarity and lasting friendship among recruits. They learn to depend on one another. 4. Bureaucratic spirit. The recruit is taught unquestioning acceptance of tradition and customs. Orders are taken and given from morning to night. Economic role of the military. Where the threat of military corps is not considered great, the military has so much influence on the economy that social control of the military becomes difficult. The economic role of the military can be considered as follows. 1. The function of the military is, of course, the defense of the nation or state. However, in the United States, the military also serves as an important economic function as a producer of jobs and revenue. 2. The private companies that vie for military contracts become a major source of employment, often providing some of the most highly paid and secure jobs in a country. 3. The growth in the production of military purposes in different parts of the United States also adds to the potential for armed conflicts elsewhere in the world. Therefore, faced with declining domestic sales, U.S. arms makers seek to supply advanced weapons to buyers in other nations. Indeed, weapons account for a significant portion of U.S. exports. Coburn, 1997. Study session summary. In this study session, we examined the military as a social institution. We looked at the norms and values, hierarchy, social class, and social economic status in the military. We also discussed the traditional military socialization process, and this includes suppression of previous statuses, learning of new norms and rules, development of solidarity, and the bureaucratic spirit. Finally, we explained economic role of the military in a state. That ends study session 11. Thanks for listening.